What's up, folks, and welcome back here. Bel-Air episode 6 review, recap, whatever you want to call it. Adjourned adversary handling duties for the night, as always.
Yes,
We got
sir. Yes, sir.
things to talk about. This was a crazy
What?
episode, man.
Yeah, that it
Uncle
was.
Phil peeping all game. My man is everywhere, except for his son, which is the one thing I'm like, wait, you peeping everything around the room, but you ain't even know what your own son up to.
Right.
But it's a lot of things to talk about, so we're gonna go through the order of the episode before we get into it. How you doing tonight?
Okay. I can't complain, man. Everything is good. I thought the episode was great. It was it wasn't as fast paced, I guess, as the last few have been, but it was still very content. There was a lot going on, a lot to absorb. So I like that. They still maintained the pace, even though it was a little slower than like the last few episodes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we started this episode off with Will. After the whole fallout with Trey, he's kind of like still in his feelings. It hurt him, it hurt the viewers. We were all kind of like, damn, but like, ain't nothing worse than looking at your phone the next day and seeing all that social media. Hey, my man is getting it bad back at home from all his Philly folks and whatnot. And that got him. I think beyond that, besides that, just getting him in his feelings. I think the other natural response is I think he's feeling like he doesn't have a role in the family. And I think, and I'm just going to shoot the gun with this one, is saying we saw this episode where he felt a little bit displaced or maybe not wanted, because there's a little bit of I don't know why, but maybe he thinks there's betrayal with Uncle Phil for, letting that information get out there. Carlton obviously telling Trey, and then Trey going back telling the homies back in the hood. And then, Aunt Viv is the one he's soft for, but like even she wasn't good enough in that situation. But as we see throughout this episode, it went from like, hey, I'm just feeling like kind of by myself on this. But as we learned, the family, we all protect each other, no matter what you're doing. That's our role. We always got each other's back, no matter what it is. You could be literally doing nothing. You could be the one throwing the party. You could be the one doing the catering. You could be the one in politics. We all got each other's back. And I think, Will's story arc this episode was really small. It wasn't in the forefront. I think it had a lot with Aunt Viv this episode, which I can't wait to talk about. But I think for Will, that's what I got from this. What about you?
Even listening to you, I think you just cleared it up for me. I was trying to catch at the beginning of the episode what like set Will off. I didn't catch that at the beginning, so I guess it was the Trey going back and spreading all the rumors or what have you. So I thought that was interesting. He didn't have any words for anybody, didn't want to talk to anyone, and it wasn't until he accidentally knocked over the vase that it was like, yo, my office, relax. And it was like at that moment, where he was able to get brought back, and where Uncle Phil kind of reminded him, hey, like you said, yo, we're family, we're gonna stick together. I got you. However bad it seems, whatever you think it is, it ain't that bad. And if it is, we got you. Just stay on code. So I could appreciate that, and I like that that showing that family, that presence, from the members of the family.
Yeah, and I also like how they're not just going to old traditional style of storytelling within dysfunction within the family, and that's definitely not talking about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's just talking about what we are accustomed to seeing. We're like, if there's tension, argument, disagreement, whatever it is in the family, they were beefing for a long time, and then that's the drama. But in this, it's like, yes, we're gonna have our disagreements, but there's one core principle: we always got each other back, no matter what the situation is, and we've seen that the entire episode, all up and down the board, and I like that. And that's why Fresh Prince was so important within our household, because I always tell people all the time, we were getting these tidbits in 30-minute episode that these people now are getting within the hour, or maybe just one overall story within a whole season or something. So like, when you talk about the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why, I think that's what it is, and that was obviously highlighting about bullying and suicide and whatnot, and for the first season, that's 10 episodes, 10 episodes, however many long, but those are episodes by hour that they told that one theme, and nothing against that show. But like when watching that, I'm like, shit, we was getting this in like Family Matters and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 30 minutes. We got the information that we were gone. And I think that's why this is what I like about this episode, is that we got a lot of different things happening from all different aspects, from rejection in the family to like intimidation, possibly, to all these sorts of different things. And then at the very core minimum of all of them was like, no matter what I got to do next, no matter what you're feeling, we got each other's back. And we just seen it. That was dope. That was dope. Yeah. That's what I really like this giant.
Definitely. And as you mentioned, Family Matters, I like the Easter egg, if you will. Yeah. Yes, with the conversation with Hillary. Yeah, I love how they threw that in there. But it's, again, like, that's what I'm talking, like, the producers have been brilliant with that kind of delivery throughout the entire series thus far. It's like a lot of the episodes, they throw those tidbits or they give that nod, and they do it in such a way where it doesn't, overshadow the moment, or doesn't come across like, oh, they was pressed, they just threw that in there. It's like it's done just right to where almost you miss it if you're not paying attention. Like, oh, that was slick. Oh, they threw that in there. Like, okay, I like that.
No doubt. Talk about Hillary, though. Hillary moved out. She's living in the social media influencer house. And, the big thing with this is that it's her betting on herself. But we also see it's a lot of her trying to prove her parents wrong. Because as we learned later in the episode, Ashley was like, yeah, they all think you're going to move back in, but I believe in you. And I think that, again, having each other back, because I think even Hillary may have had just a little bit of a moment of being discouraged when she was learning how the flow of things operate in there. You had the two brothers that were always on joke time. She's trying to get her viral video going, and one moment she's fully dressed, and maybe she didn't have success with that. And I don't even remember if she actually got that video out. But nonetheless, she had Kylo, who is the head of the house, like said, you got 24 hours to post. Yeah. And everybody's like, you are hard on these deadlines. Get it done. Meanwhile, have her family's back. She says, fine, but I got to get home. I got to get these Louisiana dishes right for the family. Right. And she prioritized them first outside of this. And whether she came back around later and thought like maybe this was a move of desperation in order to like spice things up, because we all know that sex sale, and we know that all that aesthetic is obviously going to do better than anything else, and that's just the name of the game. Don't look at me, don't blame me, don't blame Big Gold Belt. That's just what it is in social media, is that those type of things tend to do better. And maybe that was a decision that we'll find out next episode. Was she comfortable with doing it? Did she do it out of desperation? Did she solely do it to prevent her from being removed from the house in order to not let her parents know that she failed at what she was doing? There's a lot to make with that. You know what I mean?
It is. I thought it was very symbolic. It almost reminds me of the story of the aspiring artist. The guy or the girl that's like, yo, I want to sing, I want to rap, I'm gonna do it this way. I have a message. I have, excuse me. I have a way that I'm gonna do it. Which is different from everybody else. And then Kylo almost to me represents like the gatekeeper. Well, that's cool. You want to sing, all right, cool, but you better make sure you go viral, or you better make sure you're hitting these points. Boom, 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 boom. So I think the Hillary was well intentioned, because she probably thought, all right, I'm gonna go do my mom's event and just flip that into a video. And then when she told him, he was like, well, nah, that's repetitive. You got to stick to what the algorithm is gonna like. So it's almost like whatever you plan, you can't even do. So by the end of it, and she's on a deadline, her back is against the wall as far as time, it's like, let me open Pandora's Cube. And it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, you want to make this music, cool, but if you just rap about this, if you just put out this kind of image, if you're willing to just step over the line a little bit, it was so symbolic, because I like how they even did it, like how the scene shifted and they showed the camera and her setting up the camera. And then it kind of pans out and you see the outfit, you see that it's late at night, you see her alluding to, yeah, we've been cooking, but we're gonna spice it up a little. And it was just like, okay.
Yeah. So speaking of Kylo real quick, and what you said a second ago, well, I guess I gotta ask the audience real quick. do you all, with this Family Matters reference, do you think they should remake it? Or are you cool with letting that just be? That is the question. What about you? What you think?
When he said it, that was the first thing that crossed my mind. I heard the line, I laughed, and I was like, yo, I wonder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if they were using that to allude to something possibly down the line that may already be in the works. You know,
yeah, I was gonna say, once this gets signed for season 2, everybody coming in for the kill. Everybody's like, what's available? We'll take anything. You guys to know that the Martin discussions have to be brewing up right now.
Exactly.
Like, folks are like, what is available? You see how good they're doing. So
yes, and if it's and really, as you mentioned, that's just the light bulb. You're absolutely right. This could be a setup to have a 50 kind of situation where you do power pops off, then you get book 2, book 3, and now they on book 4.
Yeah.
So this could very well be a scenario where, okay, Fresh Prince popped off, let's do Martin, let's do Family Matters, let's bring everything back and freak it. And if they do that, that money is like they eating for the next century. They gonna eat.
Listen, and let's not forget, because folks want us to remember everything. Because apparently, if you forget that Will played the piano in the first episode, people got something to say to you in the comments. But it's all good. We do what we do right now. But let's not forget, these shows did have crossovers back in the day, and you know, if as you say, you talk about the 50 verse, if they decide to do this whole new universe or bring it back all of our classics, people are going to be wanting that, and that can be very lucrative.
It can go, and if the presentation is done like this across the board, I mean, you can't lose. The formula is you're good.
Yeah. Now I also just want to give a nod to Peacock, because they just did the Joe versus Carol series, and I was like, I'm tired of Joe Exotic. Why do I need more? But hey, they took the recipe of saying there's a documentary, let's turn it into a drama. Let's add some fluff to it and make it and make it entertaining. Well, this worked, and for the audience that's looking for that, it will work for them too. So they got it going right now. So, so our favorite 007 agent, Jeffrey Statham, has returned, and he's handling campaign matters as if anybody can't really tell what he's doing. He's whispering around, which I just want to mention it now, but we'll talk about what he's been up to, or what he may be up to, a little bit later on in the episode there. But this episode was about Aunt Viv throwing a New Orleans style party in honor of her friend Gail, her line sister Gail. We could say her sister Gail. A Louisiana style theme to the party. And while this means so much to the family, we actually see Aunt Viv really boss up this entire episode, because this is somebody that means a lot to her. Lisa means a lot to her, and again, family. So upon making sure that the party comes together right, she definitely says everybody, well, Uncle Phil told everybody needs to be on their best behavior, but everybody knew. And I was wondering who he was like. It was weird. It was weird, because I thought he was definitely going to be talking about Carlton, but he talked about Aunt Viv. He says, be nice to the new wife, Angela, who is Fred. We'll talk about him in a little bit, his new wife and whatnot. And well, that was just the start of the messiness, right?
That was the avalanche. Yeah, that was the beginning of the avalanche. I thought it was beautiful how they put that in there. In the new wife's effort to fit in, and in her effort to make it, I guess, come across like she was more caring, she ended up snitching on herself and kind of putting herself in a different light and confirming everything that probably was in the back of Aunt Viv's mind, and everything that was absolutely on the front of Lisa's mind. Lisa already, I don't rock with her, I don't like her. And then now her kind of spilling the beans unintentionally about that golf tournament is like, oh, that confirms it. And then now that puts Fred in an entirely different light, because now it's like you're looking at him as the LAPD guy, but slowly they peel the layers back, and you see like, oh, he's more and more dirtbag with every layer. He's more dirtbag. He's more dirt. He went behind Uncle Phil's back. He was messing with old girl before Lisa's mother even died. And you get to kind of see the kind of individual he really is. And I thought it was great when he got, I guess when the confrontation went down, how Lisa was like, yeah, nah, I'm staying. Y'all can roll. Like, I'm staying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
look to Aunt Viv, is that okay? And she, yeah, baby, come on, let's go.
Yeah, a lot to really make of all of that. A lot of points I want to definitely tackle. I mean, one, Lisa basically saying that she felt like Angela's trying to replace her mom and remove everything about her mom that was once there. They're having a baby, and beyond that, Angela tries to like really, and this is like a really tricky type of personality here because she tries to come off very like, I don't know, innocent in the sense of like, I just want to do something to help. Can I give a hand? Can I do this? And ultimately trying to overstep and then ultimately trying to make it about herself. Exactly. When they were talking about and honoring Gail and then having their moment, they talked about the sorority days. And then she says, oh, the baby bump. I mean, I've never had a baby in my stomach, but hey, I know that was a ploy. I knew there was nothing going on down there. But like, she tried to find every moment to try to grasp attention, making things awkward, and she just kept digging and digging that hole for herself. Wanting to make a speech, told no. I just feel like I should make a speech. No. And then, like you said, the conversation with Will, who's also reading the room, always coming into the rescue for Aunt Bill, because he felt that knob going up. He's like, he was like, I got to get in there. And that's when they talked about finding out Fred was ultimately cheating because she snitched on the whole situation when this happened in 2018. Yeah, that's right. Gail died in
2019. Yeah. It was like, wait a minute. And then it's you know what? Let me run to the bathroom.
Yeah. And the funny thing about this is Aunt Viv in both the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and in Bel-Air across the board sees the good in everybody. Her bad meter was off the entire time. Like, I don't trust this woman. I'm not rocking with her. Ice cold Aunt Viv the entire time. Like, was not having that shit with her. And well, she didn't even have to dig her grave because this whole homegirl Angela dug it for herself.
Yeah, and it was like confirmation.
Yeah.
And it was like you confirmed what I felt, what Lisa knew, and what Fred was trying to hide or thought he was hiding. So it was like that confirmation on all levels. Yeah. I do, however, think it's very ironic that you have that scenario, but on the flip side, you have, I'm calling him Michael Ealy. I forget what his name was. Character
Reed.
Yeah. You got brother Reed on the flip side, infiltrating like successfully. It seems. I love how Uncle Phil, that whole moment where he walks in, yo, who's this, babe? And how Uncle Phil kind of has to let his presence be known, like, I peep game. I see what you're doing. And when he tries to grab the picture, we'll get that. Oh, no. It's like, you're a guest.
Go do some guest.
That was the hardest lot. That was fire.
This is a very, very, very difficult situation to navigate through because let me tell you why I see both sides of this. Now, Reed comes in there completely out of the guest zone. So that's definitely a strike on, like, I'm with Uncle Phil on this one. But he goes in there and he started gassing up Aunt Viv, and that's also kind of questionable as well too. But he does give Aunt Viv the reassurance that she needs because he says the painting's ready. And well, I tell you what, if I remember correctly, which I should have made more emphasis on this, there was already 3 bids. I'm sorry, there was one or two bids before Reed put his down, and then Uncle Phil put his in. So there was interest. So regardless of what the value was, folks was rocking it with it at the silent auction. So he did give her that sort of confirmation as to get back on it. The fact that Uncle Phil, who knows and sees all, didn't know his own wife was painting again, that is problematic, sir, because she's been saying about this in so many different ways. By the way, Angela tried to kind of play her earlier with that whole statement about, and I just think it's funny when people just like give up their stuff they want to do because of this and that. And Aunt Viv was like, let me leave before I smack this bitch.
Yes.
But I think that it's a hard lane for Aunt Viv to navigate through because you do have Reed saying some true and sincere stuff and actually really paying attention to you. And as an artist, we know everything is important when it comes to
Yes.
attention to detail.
Yeah,
And then when he
absolutely.
introduces, it is funny because anytime somebody stutters, like, oh, what you stuttering for? So she did stutter. It's like,
Yeah.
it's my friend
It's just
Reed. So she's a little bit wrong there. But then the important thing here is, like I said, when she did not realize he was painting again, and when Reed asked what he thought about it, I felt like he gave a answer that wasn't as sincere as
yeah.
Reed's attention to. And I could just be wrong because Reed could just be over, like, overbearing with his, obviously, his objectives here. And maybe Uncle Phil is a little bit reserved because he's like, I have no clue what's happening. I'm completely blindsided by this dude, the painting and everything. So I see a lot going on in here, but it's to be determined where Aunt Viv's feelings really lie right now, because
right.
it's
I feel like
crazy.
it's a ploy. I feel like Reed knows exactly what he's doing. I feel like he said what he said to Uncle Phil at that exact moment because it was like, we're trying to call each other's bluff. Unfortunately, I think with Uncle Phil unknowingly playing into Reed's hand by putting that bigger bid, because it's like, all right, did he put the 15,000 to do it, or did he do it knowing Phil would come behind him and bid even more and secure what he was trying to get done in the first place?
I got one better for you.
Oh,
You inadvertently are making him invest into her when he really wasn't in the first place. So you had the upper hand when he wasn't paying attention, but now you got him like, oh, she's paying again. Let me make sure she's always taken care of. So
yeah,
it's
that's true
chess,
too.
bro.
It is. You're right. I think I don't trust Reed's character. I feel like every
It's Michael
moment that
Ealy.
we've seen him, or I mean Michael Ealy's character, my bad.
Michael, you can't trust Michael
You
Ealy,
can't.
period, bro.
I can't say, like, it was like you were saying in the other, I think the last review, like he's always that creepy, and like it's him. It's like you almost can't differentiate the character from it, like it's him.
Yeah.
But I don't trust him at all. I feel like he knows what he's doing, and it's absolutely a game of chess. And I guess there are, it's a couple of different ways you can look at how they're moving on the board, but I definitely don't trust it. And then, like you said, I think it could be foreshadowing that Aunt Viv may get inadvertently caught up in something that's not what it seems.
Yeah.
I think the dynamic of Uncle Phil noticing everything except what's going on in his own house will also bear some kind of scenario. Something will come from that. So I think there are different elements that are working together for a bigger, or greater arc or something later on down the line.
It is always interesting to see how focused he is about his politics. That, like, at one point, do people say, like, well, when are you gonna pay attention to us? I mean, you're missing a couple of things here in terms of, like, the awareness within his household. Obviously, Carlton on the coke, Fed back painting, and then we'll talk about right now Ashley, who has a love interest now. She makes her move on her friend Lucia. Hillary's there coaching her up, etc., etc. It's the girl she's loved. She's being very open about her feelings. But Lucia's feeling Will, the man who is, I mean, what isn't he good at, Will, shall I say? He should start a YouTube channel. He should probably. But Ashley is experiencing her first rejection, her first heartbreak, and Hillary's there. And now, there's nothing really to make of it right now, but, like, Uncle Phil, where you at, bro? You supposed to be everywhere, it seems like. And I know that's an impossible task, but, like, that's what the character is giving us. It's like he has eyes, and then Agent 007 got eyes, and y'all missing all these things going on. That's three major ones,
Yeah, and I thought the moment between Ashley and Hillary was beautiful, between the siblings, the family, again, looking out for each other, holding each other down. And I thought it was almost iconic in this episode, the moment that Carlton had with Will. Like, there was so much going on in that scene between the two characters, the conflict coming to a boiling point, Carlton not being able to maintain, and ultimately breaking down in the face of who he felt was his biggest obstacle. And then Will now having the opportunity to say, yo, I can flip it. I can now use this against you. But rather than take that route, I'm gonna hold it down like, family, you're good. And he just held him and just, yo, you're good. You're straight. Like, you can let the wall down. I thought that was necessary. for the characters. I didn't see it coming, but I thought it was necessary for them as far as the characters go. And I just thought it was beautiful because it's like, here's Carlton being painted as this dark, uncertain in the head character. And then now you get to see the human side of him, like, yo, he's really not a bad guy. He don't understand how to deal with what he's going through right now.
Yeah, and I even said that, like, wow, Uncle Phil obviously misdiagnosed the situation here, saying it was anxiety. I think it still is a part of anxiety because he has his high expectations to be like the golden standard within a household, the next tier up, and it's a lot to kind of put on somebody's plate who's also still trying to figure out his own self and relationship, which, the whole thing with Lisa here is that who is going to Howard, by the way, and with everything that's happening with Angela and then all Viv coming to save and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. But then there's Carlton, where she's just like, I feel like I got tippy-toe around my feelings around him. Look, I'm sorry, that right there is super huge, and that could have just been that. Nothing else had to be said. Like that, somebody's going to be hurt in that statement, if not both people, because that's a very, very surreal statement to make about a relationship. But it's just interesting because with all of that, and while Lisa has a bunch of feelings right now, she had a really good day honoring her mother. She's happy because Viv done took to her mother-in-law. And I think another thing I should throw in there is that she felt like her mom's spirit was there because her mom was speaking in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. And hearing Viv talk the way she did, I think she felt that that's my mom right there. My mom is talking through her. And that's why that pool moment when she was sitting there was kind of kicking it by. I was like, yo, that's real. That's super real. Only thing I want to, and then I'll throw to you, is that Will, man, I am not a fan of the consoling somebody in their super most vulnerable moment after you just made goods with Carlton, and then y'all kind of like, I like this vibe thing, we're cool, we're friends, and then y'all go into this whole romantic thing. That shit is messy, bro.
It is. I feel like that's where we know that's where the episode is going to go. We know that's where the situation between the characters has to go. But I feel like Carlton understands, or that hopefully after they had that initial where Will explained to him what was really going on, and then they have their moment, and I think Carlton is looking out the window again, I guess, and just has that kind of deep that sigh. It's, to me, that was kind of like the acceptance, like, all right, I'm not a fan of it, but I understand I'm not going to be able to, necessarily stop it.
Tough, man. Tough.
Yeah, I think it is messy, but I think at least in Carlton's case now, after that breakdown with Will, it's like denial. Because remember when he's talking to his dad and he's like, yeah, I was in denial. And then Carlton's like, yeah, I know what you mean. I can relate.
Yeah.
So I think it's that realization of, I can't keep going on this way. Her feelings aren't with me anymore. If they happen to be with Will, it kind of is what it is.
Can't believe it's 6 episodes in, and I'm starting to feel sorry for Carlton, because I was team fuck that dude the rest of these episodes. Get crazy. So the last 2 things we need to talk about, I mean, I got to say the statement because it's just true. I just want to make sure y'all know that Aunt Viv said it is my event, my rules, and that's just the thing you need to take from this review and that episode, is that you don't play in Aunt Viv's house
at all. In any kind of way.
Talking about rats here, well, we find out now that Mr. cheating on where were they at again? Palm Springs golf course. Mr. I'm such a good cop out here. Well, Fred, sir, now backstabbing and is now running for DA, which we now knowing that he's in the race, we also know that Jeffrey had got the scoop. That's what he's been working on here. Wanted to figure out why the funds wasn't happening anywhere, or why they lost some backing. And he find out it's because there's a new person in the race, and it happens to be that guy. Messy, sir. all the way messy.
Very.
There's that
And
rich people stuff is just messy, bro.
it is, and I'm waiting to see the dynamics of that scenario play out, because I'm looking at it like you got an undercover head buster that's gunning for the chief of the LAPD, and is it really gonna go that far? Is he gonna come up missing? Like, is Jeffrey that gangster? Like, I'm gonna go it. I don't care if he's the police. You feel me? Because when they were talking, do we have a problem here? Is everything all right?
we
like
all
he
good.
Was ready. We good. Yeah. He walked, and then the way he mugged them after, like I want you to check. I'm on it. And then check out. Yeah, I'm already on that too. Like, God damn.
Yeah, he got his next two assignments now.
He's
Reed
ready.
and Fred. So we're gonna see what Jeffrey Statham got going on next. So man,
yeah, somebody ended up getting transported.
Man, look, is there anything else we need to cover the episode, man? I feel like we got it fleshed out.
Let me see, Hillary.
I
do think that's everything. I'm going over my notes, but I think
you know that Hillary now going into next episode, which obviously we're here for the recap. We know now Hillary, we're gonna see like what's the whole vibe inside the influencer house now. How did her video do, and overall, like, where's her morale after all of this? Was that something she was comfortable with? Desperation? At the end of the day, she's gonna have to wake up in her own head and make do with what she did. And remember, it's on the internet, so like anybody could see it, and that could be something. And obviously we want to see what Ashley does going forward after her first rejection. So we got some things to talk about. We got I think this is an 8-episode season. I don't care if it's 8, 10, 12, 14. We got them all covered, folks. We on it. So definitely lock in each and every week. And just to be clear, folks, our reviews are dropping after it's available to stream, which is on Thursday morning, night, whatever you want to consider it to be. So we want to make sure you get a chance to watch it and then jump here and hear us break it all down.
Already.
But until episode 7, folks, stay locked in. Jump in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about episode 6. And we'll see y'all next week.
Y'all be easy. Peace.